Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Rolling Through Life. My name is Wanda, and I am doing the tag of 10 non yarn things about me. I was tagged by Cheryl Bolts. I was watching all the videos, and I was like, oh, don't tag me, don't tag me, don't tag me. And then she tagged me. I'm like, okay. But it's taken me like 5 days to figure out what to say. So here we go. The first thing, I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. We moved to Ohio. I'm guessing around the age of 1 and a half and 2. Um, Back then, it was very difficult to make a state to state move because there was no internet or anything like that, and there was no job waiting for my father. So they took a big gamble to move here, and that was because they heard that Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio, was one of the best in the nation. And yeah, that was proven wrong. But yeah, so I'm a Baltimore person. The second thing about me, I have cerebral palsy, and the diagnostic name for it is spastic hemiplegia cerebral palsy. And I am going to read for you exactly what that means. It says someone with spastic hemiplegia may have a wide range of difficulties. Not all spastic hemiplegia, it's hard to pronounce, patients experience every problem related to the condition. Some people are affected relatively mildly, while others are severely affected. Um, it is important to note that sometimes spastic hemiplegia may be temporary. Spastic hemiplegia can cause trouble with walking. A patient may have difficulty with balance. Tasks using the hands, such as writing or sewing, may be difficult. The muscles on one side of the body may be stiff and weak. This is the most common symptom. So that's just in a nutshell what it is. There's a whole lot more complications to it. Um, it does affect organs, but not as much as the limbs on one side of the body. I am very lucky. I have a mild case of it, but it still does affect my day-to-day living. The third thing, I've had 4 surgeries on my right hip, one at 2, one at 12, one at 22, and one at 46. The ones at 2 and 12 were where they were stretching the muscles. They would take the muscle out of one part of the body and add it to the part that was being spastic. So that kept me in like body casts for up to 6 weeks at a time, and then I would have to stay off and put no weight on it for another 6 weeks. And my mother said that that was hard for a 12 or a 2-year-old, not to use the leg after the cast came off. But at 22, they did a triple osteotomy, which means they cut into the bone 3 times, and they also did muscle work again. At that time, my daughter was 11 months old. So my mom not only had to take care of my daughter, but also take care of me because, again, I was in a cast for 6 weeks. And I'm talking body cast from waist all the way down. So the only thing I could do is like my mother would put a piece of plywood over the cast and then lay my daughter there so that way I could play with her, change her diaper, whatever I had to do. So that way, kind of help my mother out as best as I could. And at 46, I had a total hip replacement, which was only to take care of pain. They did nothing with the muscles. There's nothing more they can do with the muscles. And as I get older, they do get weaker. But I do keep trying to work with the muscles. That way they don't go completely like stone, or I lose all muscle control. So yeah, 4 surgeries, and that's just on the hip. There was many more to come, but yeah, that was just the hip. And just a little extra tidbit in there. I did not take my first step until right before my 3rd birthday. Um, my mom had me in I could stand up and keep my balance a little bit, you know? So my mom had me and my brother, which was a year and a half at that time, holding hands for an Easter picture. And my little brother, he went to take off, and I was holding his hand, so I took off too. That was my first step. She actually has that on camera. I wish I had the picture, but when I do find it, I will share it. Number 4 is I have 2 children and 4 grandchildren. Um, I have a son that's 24 and a daughter that's 33. And my daughter has had the 4 grandchildren. Now you've met the 2 girls and the boy. And I would like you to introduce you to Miss Kaylee Cheyenne. She lived for 20 days. And if you're interested in hearing about her and her short life, you can click the card up here and it'll take you to that video. Number 5, before I moved here, I moved 11 times in 19 years. I guess I'm like a little gypsy. I like to keep moving. I was never evicted. I had just chose to move to different neighborhoods. I don't like being in the same place. It winds up causing problems, people being nosy, and that's why I usually like to keep on the move, just meet new people. But in this circumstance, I've been here for 10 years. I am ready to move again as soon as I can, which will be a while, but yeah, I just like to move. I don't think my kids liked it too well, but I just like experiencing new places. And all 11 places were within 1 to 2 counties. You know, it was never far away from my parents' home. But yeah, new neighborhoods. Number 6 is I was married twice. The first marriage never resulted in children. The second marriage resulted in my son. That's the only good thing I can say about that marriage. And also my daughter's father, if he would straighten up his act, I would take him back in a minute. I've always loved him, and yeah, it's just the way it is. And circumstances, many circumstances kept us apart. So yeah. Number 7, I absolutely love roller coasters. Love them. I was scared of them until about 17 years old. I would never try to get on one. But a good friend of mine went to Cedar Point with our family, and she talked me into it. And it was I want to say the corkscrew. I'm going to tell you what, I fell in love. And people like going to amusement parks with me. Because of the wheelchair, I am able to get to the first of the line or have a time stamp. We come back and at that certain time, but we can look around until it's time to get on the roller coaster. I have not ridden a roller coaster probably about 9 years. The last time I rode one was when I took my son to Kings Island, and we had a fantastic day that day. But yeah, I haven't been on one since because it's harder for me to get in and out of the cars. Number 8, I used to horseback ride every weekend in my high school years. I had a friend that owned, I think, 3 or 4 horses, and I would go and stay with her during the weekend. and we would ride horses every day for at least an hour or two. And believe it or not, riding a horse strengthened muscles in my right leg for short amount, well, for the time that I rode. And then they kind of lost the yeah, muscle power, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but because you have to squeeze your knees to stay in the saddle. Um, so yeah, it strengthened my muscles very well. In the winter, I hate winter, but we would ride horses, and at times we would get a sled, one of them little toboggan sleds, and tie it to the horse's saddle. One person would ride the horse and run up the hill with the sled, and yeah, we would go sledding on with the horse, and that was fun. I, I will remember them days with fondness forever. Um, yeah, I haven't been on a horse since I went horseback riding with my husband or ex-husband, and he took off and I fell off, and I had a hairline fracture in my hip. So yeah, I've been afraid to get back on them. But I do remember in high school I had such a great time doing that. Number 9, I was a candy striper for 4 years at our local hospital. I had all intentions to go into college right after high school, which I didn't, but I did later in life. But yeah, I was a candy striper. I would deliver flowers. I would help at the visitor station. I would read to patients, fill up their water um, pitchers and stuff. I really enjoyed the work back then. I wouldn't do it now, not so much. But yeah, I had a great time talking to some of the older patients. They had so much about history that I loved, and so yeah, I was this candy striper. Had to wear the candy striper dress with the hat. Um, Number 10 is I never learned how to swim. I've had many people try to teach me, but because my right side um, is not as strong, I am not able to keep myself up and out of the water. I've tried several times, and a lot of times the instructor just loses patience and just stops teaching me. But I've always wanted to learn to swim because they do say swimming is best to build muscle back up in my leg. But if I can't swim, I can't swim. And I can't walk in water either because I lose my balance and down I go. And then I get frightened and I start panicking and I go further down instead of going up. So I usually just stay out of water. So yeah, that's the 10 non-yarn things about me. Um, Actually, I had a very hard time picking out stuff, but um, that's just a little extra. And some of you in my chats probably know a lot of this, but there's a lot of you that don't come to chat, and that's fine. But there you know a little bit more about me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tag 3 people. I am going to tag Purple Butterfly. I'm tagging Made by Marsha, Mom Marsha, and tagging Chandler Baker. So yes, I can't wait to see their videos come out and learn a little bit more about them. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. I have one more like it coming up probably in a couple of days. But if you like these types of videos, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification bell. That'll let you know every time I upload a video. And yeah, put a comment down below what surprised you most, or if nothing surprised you. So yeah, that's it, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.